Okay, it is 7 o'clock and I am calling this meeting to order. Can we have another round of applause for our stunning dancers? And would everybody rise and join them in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. May we have roll call, please?
Mrs. Matura,
Here.
Mrs. Greenberg,
Here.
Mrs. Bacon,
Here.
Mrs. Case.
Here.
Thank you. The first order of business is nomination and election for our board president for this year. Do I have any nominations? Mrs.
I
Bacon?
have a nomination.
Mrs. Case, thank you.
Thank you. I nominate Mrs. Mature to be the president of the governing board this coming 2022 year.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Case. Mrs. Mature, do you accept the nomination?
I would happily accept, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve the board and the community in this role. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any other nominations? Seeing none, Mrs. Case, may we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I will abstain.
The motion passes, and I am giving the gavel over to Mrs. Matura.
Okay. Next on the agenda is approval of authorized signatories. May I have a motion to appoint all governing board members as authorized signatories for the 2022 calendar year, please?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is authorization of signature stamps. May I have a motion to authorize the use of facsimile signature stamps of the governing board members for the 2022 calendar year, please?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is approval of resolution number 508, authorization to ratify vouchers. May I have a motion to adopt resolution number 508, please?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is to establish a roll call vote. Mrs. Chisman, would you please use alphabetical order roll call to establish the order of roll call vote for the 2022 school year?
Yes, and Mrs. Berrigan will be here to assist me. Mrs. Bacon. Mrs. Case. Mrs. Greenberg. Mrs. Matura. And our vacant position.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is nomination and election of President Pro Tem for 2022. Does anyone have a nomination for 2022 President Pro Tem?
I'd like to nominate Mrs. Case for President Pro Tem for the 2022 school year, or calendar year, not just school year, the whole year. You have to do it the whole year, Nancy.
And Mrs. Case, do you accept the nomination?
I do. Thank you.
May I have a motion, please? Oh, are there any other nominations from the? No. Okay. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
I abstain. Thank you.
Motion passes. Next on the agenda is approval of agenda. So over to Dr. Bales.
Good evening and Happy New Year. Items approved by consent will not come up for a discussion during the meeting, but will be approved when the agenda is adopted. This is possible since members of the governing board receive the agenda along with backup materials at least 24 hours prior to the meeting and have time to review and consider all items. Prior to the agenda being adopted, members of the governing board or audience may ask that an item be removed from the consent agenda and brought to the floor for discussion at the appropriate place on the agenda. I offer the following agenda as posted with the following exceptions due to a couple blue cards that we have that want to speak on items G7 and G8. Those items will be moved to the approval section of the agenda as first and second item.
Does any member of the governing board wish to have an additional item removed from the consent agenda? Does any member of the audience wish to have an item removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, Mrs. Greenberg, may I have a motion to approve the meeting agenda and recommend the consent agenda items with the removal of G7 and G8?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is governing board statements. Mrs. Case?
Thank you. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. I consider myself an optimist. Some have even called me Pollyanna, which I totally approve of that name. I think this coming year can be fabulous. We've learned a lot of lessons in the last 2 years, and I think that we have a very capable, sincere leadership. We have very capable, sincere leadership in this district. We have teachers who are outstanding and who are working so hard to teach kids, to get kids caught up. And we have parents who are willing to go the extra mile. This district is very unique. I look forward to this year with great optimism. And before I finish, I want to thank Ann Greenberg for being president over this past year and past 2 years, and for her optimism and her diligence in keeping everything on track. And I welcome Susan as the president this year, and I know she'll do a great job. So thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Greenberg?
Thank you, Mrs. Case. And I too want to welcome Mrs. Matura to this role, and think this is going to be a extraordinary year under her leadership and under the leadership of all in this district. And do want to say Happy New Year. I know our students left, but I want to thank them again for a marvelous performance to begin the new year. I'm thrilled that we are, having our students back performing again. And, I want to thank our families, our teachers, our students for their support. I, like Mrs. Case, I'm optimistic about the coming year. And just want to say everybody is very much appreciated, and I'm glad you're here. Thanks.
Thank you. Mrs. Bacon?
Yeah, I also would like to thank Mrs. Greenberg for the last 2 years of service as board president. It's a thankless job and a lot of work, and maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, Mrs. Madura, but it's a great job. But it has been difficult these past couple of years. So thank you, Mrs. Greenberg, for that. And I want to thank Mrs. Matura and Mrs. Case for being willing to take on leadership roles in 2022. Want to thank all of our staff, our students, our parents, everybody in the community who's supporting students at this point in time and helping us to help them. We're better together, and I hope that we can continue to work together to create the best district in the world. Also want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and hope that this year is safe and healthy and happy and prosperous for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to also say thank you to Mrs. Greenberg for 2 years serving in this role, and big shoes to fill, so thank you again. Wanted to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Before the break, I was able to, it seems like so long ago now, but it was after our last meeting, but I was able to attend Sights and Sounds at Desert Ridge, which was a fantastic day. It was really fun to see all of our students highlighted in that manner, and so appreciate you're running that. It was a fun day. So I also hope you've tuned into our YouTube channel. There's been lots going on the YouTube channel over break. So if you haven't checked that out, please go to our channel. You can see behind the scenes look at our Little Mermaid production, as well as our combined marching band that performed in the Fiesta Bowl parade, which was a big honor. So check that out and see what our kids have been doing, because it's pretty fantastic. I am also very happy that our kids are back from break and in person. We know it's the best place for our students, and I really want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to our families for keeping your students healthy so they can be attending school in person. Thank you to our teachers and staff and everyone in our district for going the extra mile. And I know it's a lot. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work to keep the district running and keep things going for our kids. So thank you very much. And if anyone feels compelled to help, because we are in need of lots of help, we're always looking for substitute teachers. Please go online, offer to be a substitute teacher. There's different areas where you can be a substitute now. We also desperately need bus drivers. So pass it along if you know someone who is able to help. That can go a long way to keeping things going in our district. And so thank you so much. Okay, next on the agenda is awards and recognitions. Dr. Bales.
President Matura, it's always a pleasure to work with the board president, so thank you, Mrs. Greenberg, and thank you, Mrs. Matura, for stepping up. Governing board, it's always a pleasure to also highlight our students and staff for the success or appreciations that's so well deserving. Mr. Drogi will be our MC this night to share a few honors. Matt?
Good evening, President Matura, governing board members, Dr. Bales, members of cabinet, and attendees, both in person and virtual. Tonight we have 3 recognitions to share with you. Our first recognition is the Horizon High School football team. They defeated Salpointe Catholic High School to win the 2021 Arizona Interscholastic Association 5A State Championship. I obviously don't have to ask you to join me in congratulating head coach Andy Litton and the entire Horizon High School football team. Our next recognition this evening is the Paradise Valley Education Support Professional of the Month. Presenting the award this evening is PVSEA President, Ms. Michelle Courtwright.
Good evening, President Matura, Governing Board, Dr. Bales, and Cabinet. It is a great honor for me to recognize one of our ESPs, and this month it is Lori Lawrence. She is a paraeducator at Sunset Canyon Elementary School. And it's always great when you hear things from people like she has a very special way of knowing each student's needs, wants, likes, and how to assist them in helping them complete their daily work and learning. This tells me that she knows the importance of being in the classroom and being an educator alongside her teacher. But the ultimate compliment comes when the person you support says things like this. Lori inspires me every day. As the classroom teacher and leader, I want nothing more than a calm, happy learning environment with staff members that truly understand each and every student and their diverse needs and abilities. And Lori puts my vision in my classroom into reality. I know that when I come to work each day, I will be supported by Lori, not only professionally, but also personally, just like she does everyone else in the school. Anyone would be lucky to have Lori as a teammate, coworker, paraeducator, and a friend. Lori is extremely deserving of this special recognition. We know right now that teachers need the support of everyone. And I can't imagine what it's like to know when you come in that room every day, you have someone that's working alongside you to reach those kids. And for me, that's the ultimate compliment. So it is with my pleasure that we award Lori Lawrence of Sunset Canyon with this award this month. Thank you.
And to apply for a paraeducator position, you can go to jobs.pvschools.net. Our final recognition this evening is the recipient of the Paradise Valley Education Association's Recognition of Professional Standards Award for Teachers. Ms. Susie Seep, PVEA President, will introduce the honoree.
Thank you. President Matura, Dr. Bales and Governing Board. I'm glad I got that right on my first try. I am here to recognize Lissa Davis. She is a 3rd grade SEI teacher at Palomino. She is an amazing teacher and leader. I got so many nominations for Lissa, I had to kind of mash them all together. Her nominators say she's very dedicated to her 3rd grade students, truly loves them, they love her in return, and they respond by giving their all. She's a leader among the staff. She's the senior rep for PVEA. She leads FAC. She's a support teacher for anyone who needs help. She's also taken on the role of school city champion. She goes above and beyond. She keeps the children's best interests at heart. Just for example, for the last 2 months, she's made a picture slideshow of the daily lunch options so that we can show kids in line and help keep the lines moving. Liz is also a member of the PVA bargaining team. She's a site rep. She's so much more. People say that we are all grateful to her and inspired by her. We appreciate her dedication to Palomino Primary and PVUSD. She takes every question seriously and follows up with a response. She goes above and beyond. When anyone drops the ball, you can bet that Lissa's there to pick it up. She does all of this while scaffolding amazing lessons for our young SEI learners and supporting every other teacher on campus. She was nominated by Donna Loney, Loretta Sotelo, and Jahaney Marquez. She is a champion on her campus and all around the district. I am so proud to be Lissa's colleague here in the district. Lissa's here tonight with her mother, Penny, who is a SLP, and Loretta, one of her nominators, and another dear friend. I just want to thank Alex, and I want to thank you for letting me recognize her tonight. Thank you.
And that concludes awards and recognitions this evening.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is call to the public. We are about to convene call to the public. Although state law does not require that we hold a call to the public, we have chosen to do so because we believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community about concerns and issues. Having said that, please note that the board is here to listen. Call to the public is not designed to be a discussion. Due to Arizona open meeting law, the governing board cannot respond to, discuss, or take action on any items brought up during this time. However, staff members may be directed to get back to you to address individual concerns. Additionally, I want to remind you that in lieu of speaking tonight, you may choose to submit written comments to the board by completing a public comment form on the district homepage. All comments submitted by noon today have been provided to each governing board member and to the superintendent's office in advance of tonight's meeting. Tonight, we have 3 people who have submitted comment cards prior to the start of the meeting. Each speaker will have 3 minutes for remarks. Those who have asked to speak on agenda items will be recognized at the appropriate time during the meeting. As a reminder, the point of this and every board meeting is to accomplish the business at hand and to be able to do so openly and collaboratively. All in attendance are expected to observe our meeting rules as well as rules of politeness and decorum so that we may serve as an example to our students that issues can be discussed in a respectful and civil manner. Please state your first and last name when you come up to the podium. Our first speaker tonight is Melissa Topol, and our next speaker will be Christy Weems.
I had to edit my speech, so congratulations, President Matura. So good evening, President Matura, Dr. Bales, Cabinet, people in person and online. My name is Melissa Topol, and I'm here tonight to share a positive story about the Horizon community using one person in particular. I know you really all thought I was here to complain about my salary again. I know it. Anyway, 16 years ago, I started at Horizon 6 weeks into first quarter. As a brand new Phoenician and a teacher to the district with no room to call her own, many people went out of their way to make sure that I felt like I was part of the Horizon community. But one person really kept checking on me to make sure that I had a social life. When this person found out that I loved football, they even went as far to invite me to their table at Harold's. Now, I bleed blue and white. I am a Giants fan. So crossing that line to go to a Steelers bar, that was something I just couldn't do. I had to get my dad's approval for real. Anyway, she kept persisting and persisting, even after I rudely noted to her that she was way older than me and I didn't want to hang out with a bunch of 40-something-year-olds. Anyway, I finally relented when I got my dad's permission. And you know what? I had a really great time. Shocking, I know. A Giants fan at a Steelers bar? Anyway, I even made a few friends my own age at that bar that night. So the individual that made me feel like I was really a true Husky in the building and outside of the building as well was Linda Inett. And I'm here tonight to publicly thank her. So thanks, lady. Miss ya. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Christy Weems.
Good evening. You all like to pat yourselves on the back a lot, but the last year you've had a lot of parents upset with your performance in handling several issues, including pornographic materials that you all knew was, a problem, and also in your handling of the COVID propaganda and brainwashing. I'm here not as a person against vaccines, but as a person that's going to request you to cancel the event you have at the high school this weekend on the 8th until you're able to provide parents with the relevant data with ingredients of the mRNA technology and the risks associated with giving this drug to children. You've been provided with research. I've got a whole lot more right here for you about the dangers in a trial drug, something that's not FDA approved, where there's been over 1 million in 1 year, 1 million adverse effects, including deaths in people who have taken this drug. And these are recorded in the VAERS website. That's at vaers.hhs.gov. And I implore you to look it up because children's lives, are at risk here. Along with that are several laws that would be violated. International, federal, and state in coercing parents to vaccinate or give a drug, inoculate a child with a drug that we don't know, we have no idea what it's going to do. But when you have 1 million people that have been had VAERS injuries and deaths recorded, it seems that fully informed consent should be provided, which is not. Censorship has become a massive problem in the last few years, and this denies many individuals the access to information that provides dissenting information. We see that happen to doctors that disagree with COVID protocols. Censorship makes fully informed consent impossible. Do you plan to include this information to parents that bring their kids in to be injected this weekend? Stuff like that information should include the risk of dying from COVID is null. FDA has not approved this drug. The drug manufacturer is not liable for injury or death. They've requested to cover the data up for 75 years.
Okay, our next speaker is Janice Mack.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Janice Mack, President Matura, members of the board, Superintendent Bales, and members of cabinet. I wanted to take this opportunity to address you and thank you for my time here in Paradise Valley. And also, in a time of transition, I reflect on the experiences and look forward. So I wanted to take the opportunity to share a bit of my reflection that I composed 6 years ago upon completing the AIM program. So I'm just going to read a little excerpt from it because I just think it's just a great opportunity to share and to echo some of the sentiment about the hope and optimism for the future. All of the AIM sessions were incredibly enlightening. The common thread I saw in every one of them was the critical importance of nurturing relationships through communication and collaboration in order to get to the point where the stakeholders can work together to productively solve problems and accomplish the needed tasks. I saw this with the parents who came in to talk about their perspective, the human resource department in their respective roles, building level administrators, and the professional development department. With the integration of technology to facilitate the communication and collaboration, so much is possible, whether it is, as the parents mentioned, using apps or through newsletters. Administrators deal with complex situations, and I really left with the impression that having a strong and united team is absolutely essential, and with a much deeper appreciation of what stands behind Paradise Valley Unified School District. It's not just the schools or physical buildings, but it is a whole community of people, including the staff, certified and classified, administrators, district personnel, parents, and district leadership. Every person, every bus driver, custodian, parent, teacher, teacher's assistant, student, school, and district leader plays an all-important and critical role in this organization that I now see much more as an ecosystem teeming with life and bound by interdependent relationships. As such, maintaining the balance and taking care of these relationships is of utmost importance to the health and vitality of the district. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in this invaluable experience. Thank you for the time you put into planning and delivering each session. Thank you for investing in us. So I just want to end with that. Thank you for all the governing board members for volunteering and being, serving this district. A lot of other things could be happening on a Thursday evening. I'd like to thank my boss, Dr. Corson, for his leadership, the incredible team of curriculum specialists with whom I work. They, have worked and to really work as they work to support schools with the very best resources. And of course, Superintendent Bales for his devotion to this district, his years of decades of leadership. And so I just want to leave with that and thank you all. Again, thank you for everything you do.
Next on the agenda is superintendent comments. Dr. Bales.
Thank you, President Matura. I think we forgot to recognize you have some supporters in the audience as well. Did you want to recognize family or just say thank you? All right. Yeah, because it is a hard job serving as a volunteer on the governing board, and all of you have family that have supported you in your service. And so I extend my thanks to your family that is here to support you as well. I also want to extend my thanks to Dr. Mack as she moves on into a new endeavor in her work at ASU. So best wishes to you, Dr. Mack. I also want to take the opportunity to express my gratitude for PV Schools community. Working together to support our students first semester may have seemed more challenging than the year before, but I am optimistic that we will continue to work together in the best interest of the students. Our goal continues to be keeping schools open and having our students learn in their classrooms. Our community's cooperation with our mask regulation helped us minimize the spread of COVID-19 and reduce the number of students in quarantine during the first semester. While that regulation continues into the second semester, I am optimistic that we will get past this pandemic. Over the winter break, we observed many updates to information surrounding COVID-19. The updates sparked a change to our protocol that I outlined on Monday. These updates, which align with the new guidance from the CDC, can be found on our website at pvschools.net/COVID-19. As a couple of people have mentioned, we do continue to face a crisis in staffing shortages and substitute needs. Our schools continue to need help in terms of applicants for vacancies and substitute teachers. Between the lack of bus drivers, and by the way, if you noticed, a number of districts have been canceling routes because of the lack of drivers. We haven't gone to that point. It was very difficult, but we did have a challenge even today with 3 unfilled routes. So it was difficult. We have kids being delivered many minutes up to an hour late sometimes both ways. And so we need help. It is a crisis. Those issues between drivers, the lack of drivers and lack of substitutes are negatively impacting our staff morale. I'm so proud of our teachers, our support staff, and our administrators for going above and beyond to cover vacancies and absences. It has an impact. When you give up, when the teacher gives up a prep, they're no longer available to make phone calls, return emails, and do planning or assessment for the rest of the day or the next day or following week. So it has an impact. Once again, I call on our community to step up, sign up, and be a part of the solution. Please go to jobs.pvschools.net and apply now. PV Schools is beginning a supplemental writing curriculum resource review in order to identify quality, standards-aligned writing resources that can be used within our schools. We invite you to review the curriculum materials and provide feedback. The resource materials will be available for review from January 14th through April 22nd in the District Administrative Center lobby and can be viewed Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Our award-winning Volunteer in Paradise program is seeking new volunteers to tutor kindergarten through 8th grade students for a few hours a week. If you'd like to volunteer your time to help increase student achievement, join us. Please visit pvschools.net/VIP. Next week, we will have several events that I'd like to point out. First, we invite 8th grade students interested in learning more about our International Baccalaureate program at North Canyon High School to attend the virtual meeting on January 11th. Meeting details are available at pvschools.net/NCHS. On January 13th, from 6 to 7 p.m., parents and students are invited to learn about the Mandarin Dual Immersion Language Program at Whispering Wind Academy. During the event, families will learn about the benefits of learning a second language and will experience a mini lesson with a kindergarten teacher. This event will be both in person and virtual. Details are available at pvschools.net/WWA. On January 14th, we will have our district spelling bee at Paradise Valley High School. I want to wish all of our spellers best of luck. The top spellers will participate in the Maricopa County Regional 2 Spelling Bee on February 11th, which PV Schools is proud to host. And finally, but not least, during January and February, our elementary schools will welcome the class, get this, of 2035. That's right, kindergartners, and our kindergarten roundup begins, and we are interested and willing to welcome all those little ones to our schools. The schedule of events is posted at pvschools.net/kinder. If that doesn't make me feel old, I don't know what will. And those are my comments for tonight, President Matura.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is items for approval. Our first item tonight will be consideration and approval of secondary field trips. Dr. Bales?
Yes, we'll go right to comment, public comment.
Okay, can I please have Wendy Maller? You'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening and thank you and Happy New Year. Congratulations, Ms. Matura, on your role as president this year. Look forward to a successful and happy year this year. Basically, my comment is in regards to both item number, I can only talk on one? Okay. Well, okay, it applies to both.
You'll be speaking again.
Okay. While I fully support this field trip to New York, my concern is that they're going to be attending Broadway shows where they may or may not have to provide vaccine passports. And my concern is that for future considerations on field trips, that it is looked at that there may be alternative options for students that can participate in these enriching activities who are not, they won't be disenfranchised because of their vaccination status. That's all I'm asking, is that maybe there's alternatives or an opt-out, or I just don't want a student to feel that they could be coerced into getting a vaccine so they can participate in an event that is really exciting to attend. That's my main concern.
President Matura, just for clarification, we've considered those as well. Thank you. And we do recommend approval.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the secondary field trip request?
So moved.
Any comments or questions? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is consideration and approval of curriculum and instruction for administrative and certified employee travel. And we do have a speaker on that, Ms. Wendy Mahler.
Anything else you want to add?
And no, just, that it's equitable to give people the options, and you've said that, and I appreciate you taking that consideration. That's all my concern was.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
We do recommend approval. For G8.
Okay. So may I have a motion to approve the curriculum and instruction administrative certified employee travel?
So moved.
Any discussion or questions? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is consideration and approval of hard-to-fill addenda for 2022-2023. Dr. Bales.
President Matura, governing board members, cabinet, and guests, this item has become an annual item to address our hardest to fill certified positions, and Dr. Holmes will present.
Madam President, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, we have for your consideration this evening the hard-to-fill addenda schedule for the 2022-23 school year. These are additional amounts that we pay to teachers who are in what we consider to be hard-to-fill positions. This is something that we bring to you annually, and there are no changes from this year to next, and we recommend your approval.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the hard-to-fill addenda for 2022-2023, please?
So moved.
Are there any comments or questions? I do have one question. I believe we talked about this before. This is the hard-to-fill addenda for the certified staff that's been in place. And I believe, is there discussion moving forward for looking at other hard-to-fill addenda for other positions in the district? Is that something that's being looked into for future years?
Yes, this is something that we actually have a committee that we engage each fall. So the recommendation that is here before you is the result of work of several meetings and review of data by that committee, which is comprised of principals, some district administration, and teachers.
And President Matura, in addition, we have hard-to-fill addendas in a couple other employee groups, and we are considering them in those that do not as well.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is acceptance of gifts and donations. So I'd like to review a few of the donations that have come in recently. We have Copper Canyon PTO, who has provided a donation in the amount of $1,740 to their school. And this was to cover copy paper costs and also a field trip for their school. We also have donation from Stacy and Philip Simon, donation of $1,000 to the STEM program at Greyhawk Elementary School. And we have a donation from Colleen and William Culler, who donated $5,500 and $5,000 to Mountain Trail and Sky Crossing in order to bring field trips into those schools. So thank you to all of our donors. We appreciate all of our donors. You do make your donations make a tremendous difference to our students and to our PV community. So thank you to everyone who I mentioned tonight and those who we have not mentioned, but we appreciate you all. And may I have a motion for acceptance of gifts and donations?
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Before we adjourn, we're to end of our meeting tonight. I'd like to remind you that the next regular board meeting will be held on Thursday, January 20th at 7 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.